Korean dramas on over-the-top media services are keeping viewers across the globe satisfied and entertained, especially in the month of May. What's so special about them? We're joined by Jason Bechervaise. Welcome back.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. I have to say, the drama Queen of Tears and Lovely Runner have been by far the most popular K-dramas in the first half of 2024. Please do introduce us briefly to what these dramas are about for our viewers who haven't heard of them.
Yeah, no, it's been an interesting year because we've got two Korean dramas that are performed, very, very well on local streaming platforms and television or cable channels. We've got Queen of Tears, which, centers on a chaebol heiress and the relationships that she develops with the son of farmers who's, very, very talented. And it reached a rating of 24.8%. Moving past or surpassing Crash Landing on You, and making it, the highest or third highest rated series on cable TV. So, you can always tell a show that's doing well. You walk around, and you can hear songs and the OST kind of blaring onto the streets. And, that's very much the case here. It's the talk of the town. Everyone's been talking about it. And, this was produced by one of the local studios here in Korea, one of the main or major companies that have been hugely instrumental to Korea's kind of growth in K content over the last 2 decades. And then we've got Lovely Runner as well, which stars Byun Woo-seok and Kim Hae-yoon, which is also doing very well. It's somewhat different because this show, it hasn't attracted the same kind of ratings, but the fandom has been, it's been truly extraordinary. It's certainly attracting those in their 30s and their 40s as well. It's based on a web novel called Tomorrow's Best. It was also serialized as a webtoon, underscoring the sheer popularity of web comics and novels that are frequently being used to produce content, particularly by the streaming services. And it has all the ingredients that you associate with Korean dramas. You've got attractive leads, tragedy, time travel and nostalgia. It follows this woman. She's an aspiring film director. Tragedy strikes. And she finds solace in the songs of this particular singer, and then he finds himself in a tragic accident, and they're able to kind of basically go back in time. And so, what I'm noticing here is that these are the kind of shows that have traditionally done quite popular in Korea. Certainly with regards to Queen of Tears, which looks at kind of social classes, romances, and this is a kind of a genre that's done very well, spanning many years. And more recently, we've seen kind of the more genre-driven stuff. So I think it's quite telling now that we're seeing kind of broadly two different trends. We're seeing the genre-driven content that has been very popular on Netflix. Squid Game is a great example of that. And then we're also seeing the local streamers kind of fighting back with content that has been popular in Korea and overseas for a long time. And that's what we're seeing with Lovely Runner and Queen of Tears.
Right, these are, you said it, traditional and nostalgia-driven dramas that are not too mind-blowing. But how are they so popular in other countries? They have been popular here in the country, but how is that working in other countries?
Yeah, no, with regards to Hallyu, if you look at the popularity of Hallyu over the last 2 decades, it started essentially in Asia. And so these are the kind of shows that I think have done quite well in, Southeast Asia and throughout the whole region. And that's true here. We're seeing particularly Lovely Runner kind of being #1 on one of the streaming platforms, Viki, in several different countries, and not just Asia, actually. That's the great thing about Korean content. It was Squid Game, it was Parasite, and before that, Train to Busan. It was kind of show or movies or shows that were very much kind of reliant on genre to kind of really kind of carry the story. But now, because of the popularity of other dramas and also the way algorithms work on these streaming platforms, is introducing a kind of range of kind of different content, Korean content to viewers overseas. And so, yeah, we even see these kind of shows, Lovely Runner, Queen of Tears, which have, done quite popular, well, are very, very popular in Korea and have done so for years. We're seeing them kind of breaking through into overseas territories as well.
Right. We also have to talk about the newest Korean dramas on streaming services like Uncle Samsik and The 8 Show. Now, what's notable about these films is that the film directors are continuing to work on their miniseries. Let's talk about that. Is this a new trend?
Yes and no. I mean, it's new in a sense that this didn't happen 10, 15 years ago, but after Netflix kind of entered the system, kind of entered the industry, it has completely transformed it. I mean, if you look at some of the most popular shows on Netflix, Squid Game, is a great example. Hwang Dong-hyuk is he's a filmmaker. He made films such as The Fortress, Silence, Miss Granny, which actually was a film that, it was popular here, but the remakes broke out internationally. So, we're seeing more of that now. Han Jae-rim's new show, I think has been it's been really, The 8 Show has been quite interesting. I mean, it's kind of emulating very much to some extent the Squid Game. And then we have Uncle Samsik, which is directed by Shin Yeon-sik, who is a very famous writer in Korean cinema. He also directs films. He's behind movies such as The Avian Kind. He's actually worked quite a lot in independent cinema. So it's interesting that he's actually moving or migrated over to streaming platforms. And so that's something that has happened over the last few years, and we're seeing more of that. And a lot of these shows, The 8 Show by Han Jae-rim, again, you can just, you look at it, the production values are excellent. As with Uncle Samsik, these shows are very handsomely produced. Clearly, these directors know exactly what they're doing.
Right.
And so they're kind of using their expertise that they've gained through working in the film industry for 2 decades or more. And they're bringing that to the streaming content and being able to kind of, I guess kind of raise the bar. I mean, we've seen that with, American content years and years ago. The Band of Brothers is a famous example. This kind of prestige content, almost watching a movie for each episode that you watch of these shows, and that's true of very much The 8 Show and also Uncle Samsik, Squid Game and various others as well.
All right, let's do binge watch this weekend. Thank you, Jason, so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you for having me.